Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV could be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 117, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our viewers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. So this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, July 1st, 2022. And on the front page is a beautiful picture of some graduating members of NACI, Neepawa Area Collegiate. Grade 12 students celebrated their graduation on Saturday, June the 25th with a ceremony and parade. And it goes on to say, the graduates of NACI had a full day of celebrating on Saturday, June 25th. They first had their ceremony where they received their diplomas, awards, and scholarships. Then they took to the streets with a parade down Mountain Avenue for the community to celebrate with them. And these are the pictures of the parade. Here we have a picture of Dawson Jacobsen, this year's valedictorian, giving his address to the class of 2022. And here we have the Governor General Award recipient given to Reagan Biscoe. He was presented this with his diploma and other accolades by the principal Kelvin Hollier. And here we have Kyla Wahoski, who was the recipient of the Top All-Around Student Award. And this is just a picture of them at the graduation ceremony. I'm not going to read all of the awards and scholarships given out. There's just too many of them. A new truck has arrived at Neepawa Fire Department by Kira Patterson. Last week saw a major new arrival at the Neepawa Fire Department. The brand new fire truck that the town ordered last fall came rolling in on Wednesday, June 22nd. The new truck is replacing a 31-year-old model on the fleet that broke down in September of last year. After looking at what it would cost to fix that truck, the town council decided it was best to replace it with a new model. The new truck, an Acres Urban Interface Freightliner, was ordered from Acres Industries Inc., based near Wawanesa, in October of 2021. Council approved the purchase at a price of just under $500,000. Fire Chief Eve Gillis noted that having the new vehicle done in less than a year is very impressive. I'm amazed it went as quick as it did, adding that quotes from other manufacturers estimated it would take about a year and a half. Gillis explained that the old truck had a pump and roll system, which meant that the truck could be moving while water was being pumped. This is a feature none of the other trucks in the fleet have, but the new one does. It's got lots of different options that the other trucks never had. This truck has nozzles on the front, which Gillis said would allow him to be spraying a fire without even having to get out of the truck. It also holds more water than the other trucks and has more foam capabilities. The new one also has four-wheel drive, which will allow easier access to fires that can't be reached from the road. The console inside the cab also allows more control and monitoring of systems that any interface they currently have in the other trucks. This is the only truck that the Neepawa Department has that was custom made specifically for them, so Gillis said he's very happy with how everything turned out. The manufacturers were always in contact, checking with him on where they wanted certain features located and how they wanted the storage spaces configured, etc., so that the truck would end up being exactly what the Neepawa Fire Department wanted. While Gillis had them change and add a few things throughout the process, he noted that the final bill was still exactly what they had originally been quoted. That was quite a pleasant surprise, as there were some alterations that Gillis expected would cost them more, but he was glad in the end it wouldn't cost the taxpayers anything extra. With the old truck out of service since September, Gillis shared that he's relieved they once again have 3 pumper trucks on the fleet. Having only 2 available for about 9 months was a bit nerve-wracking, as it typically takes all 3 trucks in the case of a major fire. He noted that they were lucky a case didn't come up when they needed the 3rd truck during the span of that time. The new truck hasn't yet been used on call, but Gillis says he expects they'll use it as their number 1 truck for a while to get used to the setup. The firefighting crew had some training on the new vehicle when it first arrived, and this week they loaded the equipment into it and practiced with it on Tuesday. The truck will be featured at the Canada Day celebrations at Riverbend Park, so kids and other residents can get a close-up look at everything it has to offer. We're really excited about it, Gillis shared. We couldn't be happier with how it turned out. So obviously this is a picture of the new truck. And here's a picture of the inside of the new truck, which has lots of new features, including water and foam level indicators, multi-angle camera display, and controls of the truck's front spray nozzles. Travel and entertainment section. Grade 6 Neepawa Middle School students show appreciation in the community. Here we have a picture of students Andy Noriega, Shane Estabilo, and Lance Libedisos. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. They stopped by the Banner and Press, which was one of the chosen businesses. They provided the staff with delicious cake, spring rolls, brownies, and other delectable goodies. The grade 6 classes at Neepawa Middle School have been busy with their year-end projects lately. Each of the 4 classes chose a different way to perform acts of appreciation for something or someone in the community. Tammy Dudenhofer's 6C class chose to show their appreciation to several organizations in the community. The class held a discussion with students making suggestions on which business they thought should be recognized and why they deserved appreciation. After the class discussed over 20 different businesses and groups in town, they had a vote and narrowed it down to 4: the Beautiful Plains Community Medical Clinic, Mountain Medical Clinic, the local Spruce Plains RCMP detachment, and the Neepawa Banner and Press. They chose the organizations to thank them for keeping the community healthy, safe, and informed. What did they do to show their appreciation? They brought goodies. The students each planned a treat to cook or bake and could either make them at home with their family or in the home economics classroom at school. Then on Friday, June 24th, the class went for a walk through town and delivered to their chosen recipients. It was all organized by them, the students, Dudenhofer expressed. The kids just love giving back. As for the other grade 6s, Denise Selowich's class chose to make cards for members of the community. Each student thought of someone they wanted to show their appreciation to and wrote a note for that person. In Joanne Freeman's class, they decided to hold a luau for the student council to show their appreciation for everything the group has done for the school this year. Dudenhofer explained that the grade 6 acts of appreciation were inspired by a kind gesture the students made in 2019 when the classes made goodies for the construction workers building the middle school. She noted that the teachers all agreed this was something they wanted to do again to wrap up the school year. The acts of appreciation were put on hold the last 2 years due to COVID-19 restrictions, but Dudenhofer said that they plan to make this an annual project. As grade 6 teachers, we want each year to show our appreciation in some way, she stated. And Neepawa Legion, recognizing retired military member by Owen Devereaux. A retired member of the Canadian military with roots in Neepawa will soon receive some well-deserved, though long-delayed, local recognition. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch 23 will host a ceremony honoring Lieutenant General Ray Crabb, retired, and they will do this on Wednesday, July the 13th. The event will include the unveiling of a commemorative portrait of Crabb, who was born in Neepawa and lived in the community until he was 18 years old. Upon graduation from the University of Manitoba, he would go on to serve in the Canadian Army with tours of duty with the United Nations in Cyprus and NATO in Germany. Over the years, he climbed the ranks with notable postings across Canada and the US, the former Republic of Yugoslavia, and several other global postings. This ceremony is actually the third attempt at a commendation for Crabb, as the first 2 scheduled events had to be postponed due to extenuating circumstances. The first time it happened was in late 2020 due to the reinstallation of COVID-19 restrictions on assembly within the province. The second time a ceremony was scheduled, but ultimately postponed, was on Remembrance Day 2021. That cancellation was due to the massive snowstorm that passed through the province on that day. That weather event forced Crabb to cancel traveling from Winnipeg to Neepawa to attend. Neepawa Legion board member Harvey Ebner said that they are thrilled to be able to arrange this third attempt. He says they're hopeful this time there will be no issues. It's very important that we honor Lieutenant General Crabb. It should be a big event. Hopefully we will be able to get a big turnout. On a Wednesday during the week in the summer, who knows, but we're staying optimistic, said Ebner. In a previous interview with the Banner and Press, Ebner also emphasized the significance of Crabb's military career and how it should be celebrated on a local level. We discussed how it might be nice to recognize Lieutenant General Crabb because he had held several important positions within the Canadian military over his 35 years of active service. And really, it's not talked about all that much locally. Not many people realize that he is from Neepawa. The first 18 years, the formative years of his life, were spent here. And his life story is terrific. And it's the type of story that should be told and remembered here within the community. This is the type of guy that should be recognized in our Legion and in the town. The commemoration ceremony is set to begin on July 13th at 4:00 p.m. It will begin with speeches at the Cenotaph, followed by a celebratory parade and dinner at the Legion building. Everyone is invited to attend, though you are asked to contact the Legion to confirm the amount of meal needed for the supper. Okay. Out of Helen's Kitchen by Helen Drysdale. This week her article is entitled Floods. Our recent wet weather has posed a challenge for farmers, business, and homeowners alike. Manitobans have been living through floods for years. The largest flood on record was in the Red River Basin in 1826. The Red River Settlement was established by then. The problems had begun during the fall of 1825 with a lot of rain and continued in the winter with lots of snow. Spring had arrived late. The first warning came on May the 2nd, the day after the ice started breaking up. The water in the river rose 2.75 meters, which is 9 feet, in 24 hours. Wow. The next day, the waters overflowed from their banks and spread the ice outwards and swept away many homes, fences, livestock, and outbuildings. The settlers rushed to higher ground with some of their livestock, but still the water rose. The thunder, lightning, and rain added to the settlers' misery, with no shelter or food as they had fled in a hurry. They worked day and night to rescue the marooned settlers with boats and canoes. The settlers moved once again as the water rose. It would eventually rise 11.1 meters, which is 36.5 feet at its worst. The diary of Francis Herron, who was Hudson's Bay Company clerk at Upper Fort Garry, which is present-day Winnipeg, states, "Our new block house on the front of the fort, the best in Rupert's Land, built last summer, was this morning carried off in an instant. It fell with a crash like thunder, as if to extinguish our hopes for safety of the remaining buildings. The houses rock to and fro like a ship at sea. Every joint opens, every beam bends. This flood nearly destroyed the Selkirk colony as it swept away animals, food, seed, and the hope of planting crops that year." 1949 had been an exceptionally wet year. In the winter of 1950 came heavy snowfalls with an early thaw. The sudden breakup of ice in tributary creeks caused massive ice jams in the Red River. Fast rising flood water spread through farms and villages south of Winnipeg. The whole area to the U.S. border was a lake. The Canadian Army deployed amphibious troop carriers to move 40,000 people to safety, as well as many of the animals that they could get out. The water depth reached 4.6 meters, which is 15 feet, in low-lying areas. In Winnipeg, every able-bodied person worked to sandbag. The water reached a high of 9.2 meters, which is 30 feet, at James Avenue in Winnipeg. Over the course of the flood, 100,000 residents were evacuated from Winnipeg homes. Winnipeg's flooding saw approximately 10,000 homes destroyed and 5,000 buildings damaged. Years before the flood of 1950, city engineers researched the possibility of a ditch being dug around Winnipeg to divert floodwater around the city. The Manitoba government refused to take action as the project was deemed too costly. Even after the 1950 disaster, they sat on their hands. In 1958, Duff Roblin was elected Premier of Manitoba under the promise to build the ditch. In 1962, construction of the floodway began for the cost of $63 million. It was affectionately nicknamed Duff's Ditch, after the Premier, of course. The overflow of the Red River in 1969 was equal to that of 1950 in severity, but Duff's Ditch protected basements in Winnipeg from floodwater. However, this floodway did not help the area south of Winnipeg with its low topography. Dubbed the flood of the century in 1990, the 1997 flood cost $500 million in damage. The Red River crested at around 5.5 meters, which is 24.5 feet, at the James Avenue in Winnipeg. The Emergency Measures Act saw around 8,000 military personnel help in the disaster. At the flood's peak on May the 4th, the Red River had more than 2,560 kilometers, which is 988 square miles of land underwater. Nicknamed the Red Sea, this temporary lake forced about 75,000 people to abandon their homes. We have experienced severe flooding since the 1997 flood. Manitoba's continues to improve flood control measures, which significantly reduces the amount of damage flooding can cause. In times of flooding, many volunteers fill and move sandbags, while other volunteer by making warm food for the hungry workers. I think this recipe would help in the effort of feeding cold, hungry, and tired volunteers. And the recipe this week is a pork and apple pie. All right, Spruce Plains RCMP report by Corporal Eric Unraw. During the week of June 20th to June 26th, Spruce Plains RCMP dealt with 56 police activities. On June 20th, RCMP received a report of a missing youth in Minnedosa. A short time later, the youth was found at a relative's house with no cause for concern. A wallet was found in Neepawa and turned into the police. The owner was contacted, who picked it up shortly after. On June 21st, RCMP received a report of abandoned truck near a gravel pit in the RM of Oakview. Police attended and discovered the truck was stolen. The owner was notified and the matter is still under investigation. Police responded to an abandoned 911 call in Neepawa. Police attended and cleared the area and found no signs of a disturbance. The call was deemed accidental. On June 22nd, RCMP responded to a report of a stolen truck in Minnedosa. The truck was located a short time later. The matter is still under investigation. Police responded to another abandoned 911 call in the municipality of Westlake Gladstone. Police attended and found the residence to be unoccupied. No one was present on the property and nothing suspicious was noted. On June 23rd, RCMP received a report of a historic domestic assault that occurred in Neepawa. The matter is still under investigation. Police were dispatched to assist an elderly individual who had fallen and was needing medical assistance. Police attended, helped the individual up, and waited until EMS arrived. On June 24th, RCMP responded to a report of fraud at a business in Neepawa. The investigation is ongoing. Police received a report of a person uttering threats against a person in Gladstone. After investigation, it was determined that this was a civil matter and that no charges were laid. Police were dispatched to a suspicious person at a residence in Minnedosa. The person was arrested and taken into custody to sober up. On June 25th, RCMP received a report of an online fraud where money was exchanged for goods that were not received. The matter is still under investigation. Police responded to a report of a hit and run to a vehicle in Minnedosa. There was insufficient evidence to proceed further. And lastly, June 26th, RCMP received a report of an erratic driver in the RM of Minto O'Donnell. Patrols were made, but the vehicle could not be located. Police received a call of a vehicle versus a deer collision near Neepawa. No injuries were reported. RCMP conducted 13 traffic enforcement actions during this reporting period. Next we have, there's 6. Pictured are some of the graduates and scholarship recipients for Carberry's graduating class of 2022. Congratulations from the banner and press to all those who are entering their next chapter, and best wishes in your future endeavors. Plumas Lions Club's annual parade returns by Casper Werhan. The Plumas Lions Club is returning to the streets for its annual parade on July the 23rd. After being put on hold due to COVID-19, Plumas Lions Club President Sharni Shetler told the Banner and Press that they are eager to get out there. It feels good to be able to do this again. It's wonderful to be back in the community and have everyone together again. The Pancake Breakfast is one of our main fundraisers for our Lions Club, said Shetler. We have an older club, so we don't have many events where the Lions are out and about in the community. It's nice to have us out with our vests on so people know that we are still here and still trying to help our local community and surrounding communities as well. She added, it just feels really great to be back to normal and be back with everybody where we should be. This year, the parade will be starting at 9 a.m. from the Plumas Fairgrounds, After the parade concludes at approximately 9:30 p.m., I think that might mean a.m. Yeah, a.m. Everyone is invited to the skating rink to enjoy a pancake breakfast fundraiser, and this year it's for an extra special cause. Usually this is a general fundraiser, but we have a little girl in our community named Kendall Walker who is undergoing cancer treatment. So the proceeds from this breakfast will all be going to support her and her treatment, which she began about a month ago. The pancake breakfast has been sponsored by Neepawa area businesses Enns Brothers and Rocky Mountain Equipment. This means that 100% of every cent given by attendees will go directly towards helping Walker. If people are looking for a sense of community again, and obviously the money is going to a really good cause, I think those two things right there are great reasons to come out and have some fellowship with people who you maybe haven't seen for a while, Shetler enthused. And to give back to the community. I think we need some more of that, some more kindness. Opportunity for all levels of experience and education by Casper Werhan. High Life, Neepawa's largest employer, will be hosting a career fair in Neepawa next week. On Thursday, July the 7th, representatives of High Life will be at the Yellowhead Center in Neepawa from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. This will allow people to learn more about the positions the company is hiring for in a more personal and casual manner. There's no substitute for meeting people face to face and listening. As a food company, we are passionate about producing the best pork we can, and by hosting an in-person hiring event, we can share that with the community, said High Life. Our High Life pork food trailer will be on site at this event, serving free meals to any job seeker who speaks with our team. Every job at High Life contributes to the quality of our food, and we hope people come out to this event to experience the result of everyone's hard work. The company added, we hope to be the employer of choice for job seekers in the region. Although High Life is always hiring production personnel such as meat cutters, sanitation crew, warehouse professionals, and general laborers, the company told the Banner and Press that there may be other roles available at the plant that people don't know about. There's opportunities for all levels of experience and education, said High Life. We hope to make the community aware that there's a fit for them at High Life. Those wishing to attend are welcome to prepare a resume ahead of time and bring it with them to the career fair. Interested parties can take a look at the available careers for day, evening, and overnight shifts on High Life. Oh, I see. This is a website. It's hylife.com/careers, and fill out their resume applications accordingly. Come introduce yourself, learn about what we do, and try some free pork, High Life encouraged in its final message. MHPEC invites area potato growers to August Field Day by Casper Werhan. A full and informational day is being planned by Manitoba Horticultural Productivity Enhancement Center, Inc., which means the MHPEC. Based in Carberry, MHPEC is currently organizing a field day for August the 9th from 9:30 a.m. to about 2 p.m. A segment focused on potatoes will kick off the day, running until 11:30, and after a break for lunch, the focus will shift to a crop diversification program at 12:45 p.m. We plan to give research updates to the grower community on our current projects, solicit interested collaborators to move plot scale research to the field scale, and cover new research possibilities, collaborators, and ideas, said Zach Federick, potato research agronomist for MHPEC. Frederick added, our topic list is pretty long, but can be summarized through our nutrient research on nitrogen and sulfur availability, green manures with brown mustards to manage soil-borne diseases, cover crop research to armor soils, build organic matter, increase nutrient cycling, and increase soil health, and cultural practices to decrease disease. MHPEC is also setting up a time for their collaborators to have a meet and greet with growers from Manitoba Agriculture, the University of Manitoba, M21, and Tigersol. McCain, Simplot, and Keystone Potato Producers Association's representatives should be present too, said Frederick. The Canada-Manitoba Crop Diversification Centre, or CMCDC, used to hold this event annually in August, with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada running a large part of the show when they were at the facility. The height of the COVID-19 pandemic put the event on hold in previous years, and with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada withdrawing from the facility during the pandemic, it's created some change as well. It's allowed MHPEC to grow into the role and make the field day bigger and shape it into an event to attract more growers, consultants, and agronomists. The pandemic made our extension efforts more than a little unusual, but we rolled with the times. We compensated for pandemic-related restrictions by releasing videos on YouTube, promoting research on our research website, reaching out to more media partners, hosting Zoom meetings with growers, and meeting in whatever capacity was allowed at those times. For the in-person event this year, we've changed a few things about the program. The first change, Frederick explained, is that MHPEC has seen that the social aspects of the day are important for growers to reconnect and for connections to be made in a more casual format in conversation between growers and agronomists within the industry and with members from collaborators such as Manitoba Agriculture. As such, they have provided time for a lengthy coffee period at the start of the day and the lunch period, specifically to set valuable time aside for such conversations. The second change is that the diversity of scientific expertise that will be on hand. I have personally done my best to bring a circle of interested parties to this show which genuinely want to connect growers to scientifically verified, cost-effective means of managing plant nutrition and disease with soil health in processing potato systems, said Frederick. Many of these methods are surpassing objectives set under controlled conditions and await grower collaborators to verify the method works on the larger scale. The people behind these methods not only include the traditional parties present at these meetings, but also new players to the game. Those wishing to attend should RSVP with site manager Garth Christensen by contacting him by email at mhpec/manager@outlook.com or by phone at 204-834-2007. The morning portion of the event will take place at CMCDC's off-site, located 2 miles north of the junction of Highways 1 and 5, north of Carberry. The lunch and afternoon portion will be located at the CMCDC facility, located just northeast of the junctions of Highways 1 and 5. And here we have an old picture of a graduating class of 1950 from Gladstone. These were the teachers and graduates for the Gladstone High School in 1950. Man, how the styles have changed. Right. Now, The next is an annual report for the year ending 2021 for the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. I'm not reading all of this, but I will read the message from the president, Brent Sorenson. 2021 saw the impacts of the COVID-19 global pandemic continue throughout the world, and the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation was no different in seeing these impacts continue. For much of 2021, our office was closed to the public, and all our events that we had planned were once again cancelled. While most would assume that this would lead to a poor year, despite all the challenges brought forth by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation continued to grow and move forward, with total endowment funds exceeding $4.5 million at the conclusion of the 2021 fiscal year. 2021 was the first year that the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation land project took place, which, despite the poor growing season seen by much of the region, turned out to be profitable for the foundation, with a profit of $11,000 being realized and invested to the foundation into the community fund. Many thanks go out to the town of Neepawa for the opportunity provided to the foundation by way of the land rental agreement. Jack Falk, Jamie Dembo, John Lavich, and Keith Jury, thank you for your time and efforts in securing sponsorship, product, and labor for the project, as well as the many companies and individuals who have provided seed, fertilizer, chemical, planting, harvesting, tillage, grain transportation, and anything else that was required to make this event a success. We hope the 2022 crop year again proves successful for the Community Foundation. While 2021 saw the cancellation of the annual grant luncheon once again due to the COVID-19 restrictions, we did broadcast the announcement of the annual grants on NACTV with a locally produced television event. That event saw the foundation announce grants and scholarships totaling $176,466 for the 2021 year. These grants were again distributed to many organizations and events throughout the town of Neepawa, RM of Rosedale, RM of Glenella Lansdowne, and Langford portion of the RM of North Cypress Langford. June of 2021 saw Brad Walker and Mark Moorhouse conclude their terms on the board of directors of the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. We would like to thank each of them for their time and commitment. Their contributions as board members and leaders within the Community Foundation did not go unnoticed. In September 2021, we welcomed 2 new board members, Iris Cooting and Terry Buchler, to the board. We look forward to their continued input and growth as members of the Foundation Board of Directors. As the president of the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation, I would personally like to say how proud of and grateful for the contributions made by each and every board member presently serving on the board of directors. We continue to face new challenges seemingly daily in this post-pandemic world, and our board has persevered through them all. I would be remiss to not mention the efforts put forward by Brenda Krischuk, our executive director, who does her part and more to ensure the growth and stability of the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. She has consistently provided the necessary guidance to the board of directors and has served as an excellent resource for all board members with her knowledge and passion for all things related to the Community Foundation. With the turning towards 2022, we look forward to being able to once again host many of the events that everyone in the community has come to look forward to from the Community Foundation. We will be seeing the return of the J.C. Lavich Construction Hard Hat Golf Tournament, benefiting the Community Foundation, as well as many of the events around the Giving Challenge Week in November returning this year. As well, watch for the premiere of the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation Dancing with the Stars event that will be premiering in February 2023, with many plans already being put in motion for that event. On behalf of the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to the members of the community who have continued to support the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation through the past year. Without your support, the ongoing efforts would not be possible. Thank you to all of you in our communities who have supported the foundation in some way in the past. We look forward to any continued support that you can provide, allowing us to continue to make a difference in our communities every year. The 2021-22 Board of Directors are as follows. President Brent Sorenson, Vice President Jeff Miner, Treasurer Ian Thompson, and the other board members are Ann Kaharski, Ashley McCoggan, Iris Cooting, Jack Falk, Keith Jury, Marilyn Crew, Sarah Fast, and Terry Buchler. Congratulations to the organizers of Filipino Heritage Month 2022. High Life recently had the opportunity to celebrate the rich community and culture of Neepawa's Filipino community. The festivities exemplify the significant contributions that make our towns, cities, and country better places to live. Lyle Lowen, who is Senior Vice President of Farms High Life, said, High Life's success would not be possible without the dedicated and driven Filipino community. Many have traveled and started a new adventure with our company. From our plant here in Neepawa to our barns, accounting, and human resources, you have helped us grow and play vital roles across High Life. Anna Tungle, who is a Neepawa resident. It's been my dream. I am living here now, and this is amazing, surreal to see. I love my community, and everyone is welcoming, and this day is about our independence and sharing our story. And Elibardo Dizon is a employee with the packaging and production area of High Life. We came to work at High Life, and I have been here almost 11 years. The people in Neepawa are great. We want to celebrate the Filipino heritage with our neighbors. I am very proud because lots of volunteers, they are busy working and helping. They are here to serve a meal to the people living here and celebrate in Neepawa. This is what our culture is about. Nice. Okay, now the sports section. NACI's Trynity Turner wins provincial javelin gold, and here is a picture of her on the podium after winning the gold medal. By Owen Devereaux. Trynity Turner was simply golden when it mattered the most at the MHSAA Provincial Track and Field Championship. The Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute, or NACI, student athlete competed in javelin and won with an impressive throw of 36.99 meters at the 3-day event, which was held in Winnipeg earlier this month. Turner's winning toss was a personal best for the year and was a little over 4 meters better than her nearest competitor. Wow. This capped off a solid few weeks of competition for the high school junior, as she had also claimed first place at the Zone 7 Championship in Neepawa. Even more impressive, this is the first year Trynity has competed specifically in javelin. She told the Banner and Press that it seems to be a bit of a specialty event for the family. Her brother Dax, who now competes for the University of Manitoba, won gold for NACI over the years in many events, including javelin. As well, her father Chris Turner remains a record holder at the high school for the specialty. As for her performance at the provincials, Trynity said she was optimistic about a top 3 finish in her category, but knew that it wasn't going to be easy. There was some good competition out there, so you can't take any of it for granted. I was hoping for a top 3 finish, but you never know until you get out there. As we went through the competition, I was feeling pretty good. The throw that I won with was my second of 6 total throws. So that took some of the pressure off the remainder of the competition. NACI track coach Bryce Caselny said this result was a very impressive culmination to the year for Turner. Trynity had a fantastic year overall and a wonderful provincial championship. She's both the zone and provincial champion in javelin with a personal best throw in the provincial final. So you can't really ask for anything else as a coach. She has worked hard all year. She's easy to coach, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do next year. The weather this year was challenging, and hopefully next year Trynity and the rest of our team can get a better spring for training, and hopefully there's still some farther throws to come. Turner was not the only highlight for NACI at provincials this year, as the junior varsity girls team were silver medalists in the 4x400 meter relay. And here are the Zone 7 track champs in track and field. Members of the NACI track and field team pose with the Zone 7 championship banner. NACI recently claimed the title at a regional event held in Neepawa in the spring. And the Neepawa Cubs just keep on winning by Owen Devereaux. An impressive 7-game winning streak has pushed the Neepawa Cubs into first place in the Santa Clara Baseball League standings. The Cubs, who are 7-3-0, the Cubs' most recent results started with a 10-3 win over the Carberry Royals on Wednesday, June 22nd. Neepawa scored a lone run in each of the first 3 innings of the game before really opening up its lead with a 3 performance in the 4th. After being blanked by the Royals in the bottom of the 5th, the Cubs ensured their victory by bringing home 4 more runs in the 6th to make the final a 10-3 score. Craig Casto, who leads the Santa Clara Baseball League statistically at the plate, was a perfect 4 for 4 on the night with a pair of runs batted in and a stolen base. Andrew Richards also contributed with a 3 for 4 effort, 3 RBIs and a stolen base. Cubs pitcher Jordan Wickens was able to pick up his second win of the season with a complete Game 3 hitter. In the other game played by Neepawa last week, the Cubs were able to defeat the Ebb and Flow Lakers on Friday, June 24th in Dauphin. As of Tuesday, June 28th, the game stats had not been listed on the league website, so the online results have been listed as simply 1-0 or 1-0. The final game of the regular season for Neepawa was in Plumas versus the Pirates on Monday, June 27th. Pitcher Garrett Rempel gave up just 2 runs for the Cubs over 7 innings on the way to collecting a 3-0 win. With these results, the Cubs have won 7 straight games and closed out their regular season with a 7-3-0 record. Neepawa is the first team to complete its regular season schedule and will have to wait for a number of makeup games to be played around the league before it knows their final position in the league standings. Next is the news from Carberry, North Cyprus, Langford by Gladwin Scott. Reagan Dick, Carberry Collegiate staff member, was the recipient of the Manitoba Pork Council 2022 Best Teacher of the Year Award. She was nominated by Matthew Salin, who has been the Student Council President for 3 years and also the Student Representative on Town Council for the same period. He said she has served as Student Council Advisor for several years and has helped with many student activities, such as the Youth in Philanthropy project, stated Salin, who will study science at the University of Manitoba with engineering in mind. Mrs. Dick will receive a $750 gift certificate for class activities, and the school staff was the recipient of a pork luncheon on Thursday, June 23rd. And the community profile this week is Andy Nicolason. She's 18 years old and is a Carberry Collegiate graduate who has accepted a position with the fly-in fishing lodge called Ganglers, located about 2 hours west of Churchill on the banks of the Great Seal River. She flies from Winnipeg via Thompson to the luxury fishing lodge. Recently, Andy has been employed at 2 positions, waitressing at the Robin's Nest and working as the part-time secretary for the Carberry United Church. She has numerous talents and interests, including singing, dancing, figure skating, volleyball, softball, track and field, and percussion in the school band. People who have positively influenced her life include her parents, Gerald and Becky, her grandparents, Reverend Emma Simone and Reverend Peggy Reed. Following her employment in northern Manitoba, Nicolason will study business at ACC. And for the here and there portion of his news. In Prairie Mountain Golf League action, Carberry's team of Shane McCullough, Joel Barron, Braden Calvert, and Matt Leckman won a series in Minnedosa Friday, June 17th, 5-1. They will host Oak Island this weekend. There will be a free public swim Friday, July 1st. Summer pool staff includes Caitlin Myers, supervisor, Tyler Hood, Quinn Thorne, Aiden Town, Braden Knox, Tennille Steen, Dahlia Snaith, who are lifeguards, Dylan Barnstable, an assistant guard, Nate Robson, Lexi Unraw, and Colton Knox are cashiers. The roller rink will be open Saturday, July 2nd. Special thanks to the Carberry Area Community Foundation and Prairie Mountain Health, who each donated $1,500 to the foundation for roller skates. The schedule for this summer on Saturdays is I don't know if that's a website, but it's wagon/stroller roller to look up the times and dates. Jordan Wickens was the winning pitcher with a complete game for the host Neepawa Cubs in a 10-3 decision over the Carberry Royals Wednesday, June 22nd. Craig Casto had 4 singles and a pair of runs for the Cubs, who scored 3 times in the 4th and 6th innings. Jay Klim's single drove in 3 RBIs. Andrew Richards and Nate Stevenson collected 3 and 2 singles, respectively, for the hosts. Torrey Scott singled twice before leaving the game with a leg injury. Russell Adrianson doubled for the Royals, who tallied twice in the 2nd inning. Zane McConnell and Ethan Bjornson shared the mound duty for Carberry. Joey Moffat struck out 6 and walked 4 for the visiting Portage Padres in an abbreviated rain-soaked 8-1 decision over the Royals Friday, June 24th. Tyler Butler led Portage with 2 circuit clouts, including a first-inning grand slam. Tanner Blight doubled, singled, and crossed home plate twice. Dalen Creasy and Warren Birch also allowed 9 hits and whiffed 3 on the Carberry mound. Josh McMillan was the lone Carberry run. Carson Bjornson, who is 17 years old, of Carberry and backup goalie for the WHL's Brandon Wheat Kings, is one of 3 netminders invited to the Team Canada Under-18 training camp in Calgary, July the 20th. Team Canada will play in the Ivan Hlinka Wayne Gretzky Cup tournament later this year. And Connor Geeky, who is 18, of Strathclair, who plays with the WHL's Winnipeg Ice, will also try out for the Under-19 Team Canada squad during the same time. Connor is expected to be high in the upcoming NHL draft. His brother Morgan, who is 24, was drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes and now plays for the Seattle Kraken. Can anyone tell what this is? What the hell? A serious thunderstorm last week, overnight Thursday and into the early hours of Friday morning, turned into more than just rain and lightning in some areas of the province. Golf ball or larger sized hail fell at the Warner residence in the municipality of Lansdowne. Environment Canada reported incidences of toonie-sized hail in Plumas and Clear Lake. Elsewhere in the province, there were reports of baseball-sized hail in Biddensgarth. Oakburn saw tennis ball-sized hail, and Sandy Lake got quarter-sized hail. Okay. Where does this plate originate? On Wednesday morning, June 22nd, a very nice Class A, excuse me, a very nice Class A motorhome parked for a short while on the Safeway lot in Neepawa. Is this from out of province? Can you identify the origin? And it's got 1-SVY-222 Concord Risemobile D-96132 Ockbach. Take a crack at it and send in your guesses by email to pages@neepawabanner.com or newsroom@neepawapress.com. Next week, we'll reveal the full details and share some of the guesses that were submitted. Next is the Neepawa Town Council Briefs by Owen Devereaux. Members of the Neepawa Town Council assembled on Tuesday, June 22nd for their second meeting of the month. Jason Nadeau provided an update on the happenings of the Western Manitoba Regional Library Board, of which he is the town's representative. He indicated that the meeting held on June 15th will be the last one scheduled for the summer. One of the items discussed at the gathering was the Neepawa Library's recent acquisition of a new digital projector. Murray Parrott acknowledged the recent hard work of the Men's Shed, a local gathering of individuals who use their woodworking expertise to support community group and services. Parrott said the group recently completed building new planters for the Beautiful Plains Community Medical Clinic. He also thanked John and Jerry Nelson for their efforts to beautify the clinic inside and out. Darren Pudlow discussed the oncoming Canada Day celebrations in Neepawa on July 1st. This will be the first large-scale festivities for the community since 2019. He requested that if anyone would like to volunteer on the day, to please contact the town office. The Manager of Operations report. Denise Segway informed Council of numerous washouts that municipal workers have attended to recently. There has been street damage in a few locations due to the heavy deluges of rain that have been an issue throughout the spring and into the summer. Town residents are asked to report any issues they encounter regarding these types of problems to ensure staff are able to attend to them as quickly as possible. Councillor Nadeau asked a question related to an update on Davidson Street. Segway stated that the placement of dust suppressant had been scheduled on 2 occasions but had to be postponed due to rainfall. For correspondences and new businesses, Council received a letter requesting consideration on the reestablishment of a pet cemetery. There had been a location in the northwest portion of Neepawa that was used for the burial of animals before it officially became town property. The historic research found by administration indicated that when the land came over to the town under the public reserve, there was no assumption that it would continue on as a burial site. Council approved the purchase of 6 additional cemetery columbarium to be installed in 2023 from Nelson Granite Limited at a cost of $440,049. This expenditure will be deferred to the cemetery maintenance reserves. The columbarium is a structure for storage of funeral urns that hold the cremated remains of deceased individuals. The schedule for council meetings has been revised for the summer. There will be just one monthly meeting set for Tuesday, July 19th and Tuesday, August 16th. And here we have 2 more graduation pictures. The first one is Josie Nichols making her valedictorian speech at the Erickson Collegiate graduation ceremony on June 27th. And here we have William Morton Collegiate in Gladstone. This is Madison Tycrobe giving the valedictorian address at their grad ceremony on Friday, June 17th in Williams Park in Gladstone. Okay, so I'll go back here. Homebodies by Rita Friesen, Raising a Ruckus. It's no secret that I am a Snoopy Charlie Brown fan. In rereading volumes of Charles Schulz's work, I am more and more aware of the various social issues he addressed. He took a firm stand against public opinion when in 1968 he introduced Franklin, the first person of color in the comic strip. Those of us who grew up with the cartoon would not have seen the challenges behind the selection, and I love the Christmas pageant that has become a holiday favorite. In one of the Peanuts parade books called Don't Hassle Me With Your Size, Chuck, one 4-scene strip has Sally in the classroom. In the first one, she's raising her hand and Sally says, "Ma'am, I have a suggestion for a class project. Why don't we all get together and raise a ruckus? They're easy to raise. All you have to do is shout and they grow." Sally leaning back in her seat, ha 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 ha. And then you see a subdued Sally, "Yes, ma'am." I love it. I have raised a few ruckuses in my time. The first social justice one I raised was back in grade 7. The teacher was one of our community Anglo-Saxon, married with children back at work to supplement the farm. Our class was fairly divided with Anglo-Saxon and Mennonite. 2 of my classmates were from lower income, hardworking, and school did not come easy for them. One day, the teacher first spoke disrespectfully to them and then misquoted a scripture. It was a response to one of them asking for help understanding a concept, and the answer thrown at them was to the effect that God helps those who help themselves, so for God's sake, help yourself. As the neighbor woman returned to the teacherage at noon, I waylaid her. Yep, the scrawny little farm kid stood up for her peers. With respect and a firm upper lip, for it began to quiver, the jig was up. I reprimanded her for her tone and her words and continued to attend school and be her neighbor. It was a minor ruckus in the big picture. Within the last few years, we have witnessed more ruckuses than I ever recall seeing before. Some made some sense to me and some did not. But Sally is right. All you have to do is shout and they grow. I am concerned about social justice. I am concerned about showing mercy, being merciful. Much as I try not to make hasty decisions, doing due diligence before formulating an opinion opinion I speak aloud. I have struggled to remain polite and merciful in many situations. That streak of "that's wrong" runs deep and swift through my veins. I encourage those who will listen that my generation, the elders, mostly solvent, mostly educated, mostly time-rich, have the power through letters and calls to officials at whatever level the concern lies. It is our duty to love justice and seek mercy. We have a duty to speak for those who cannot. We have a duty to call leaders to accountability. Almost every Sunday, I lift my voices with countless others as we offer the words of our creed: to love and serve others, to seek justice and resist evil. Go raise a righteous ruckus. Now, Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroshine. My Canada Day regret. In a few weeks, I will complete my 71st year on this planet. I have lived all my life in Western Canada. I was born in Alberta. I moved to Neepawa in the summer of 1996. It has been my home ever since. I have always considered myself to be a proud Canadian, but after 26 years here, I also consider myself to be a proud Manitoban. Being born in this country has opened many doors of opportunity for me. It has also exposed a problem that until recently I didn't know I had. My problem is that I don't see what other people see in this country. I first became aware of it several years ago while on a short family holiday in Grand Forks, North Dakota. One of the items we needed had to be purchased from the city hospital's pharmacy. While I was making the purchase, the clerk who assisted me saw that I was from Canada. "I really like your healthcare system," she said. "I wish we had the same thing here." I was somewhat surprised by what I heard. Several months later, I thought about her words and I began to ask myself, what does she see in our healthcare system that I don't see? At the time, I didn't ask her, so I don't know. I have some ideas, but I cannot and will not presume to speak for her or any other non-Canadian who shares the same opinion. Other similar questions came to mind. I wondered, for example, what my ancestors saw that caused them to pack their belongings, leave the lands of their birth, and settle on farms in rural Alberta. What did they see in this country that I don't see? That question was easy to answer. They were looking for a country whose government wasn't always picking a fight with one of its neighbors. And they were looking for a country in which people of all faith traditions were welcome and were free to worship their God and practice their faith as they saw fit. Canada gave them that opportunity, and that is why they chose to settle here instead of somewhere else. We who were born and raised in this country and have enjoyed these privileges since birth are tempted to take them for granted. We consider them to be normal. It's hard to believe that people in other parts of our world live under regimes that deprive them of the basic human rights and opportunities for advancement we enjoy in this country. We may wonder why those living under such oppression don't rise up and revolt, kick their oppressors out of office, and put someone else in their place. One reason is because they know how dangerous it can be to disagree with those in power. But people can only take so much. One day, the oppressed will have had enough. They will stand up for their oppressors, fight against them, and win. You and I live in a free country, but there is one thing about this freedom that we fail to understand. Our freedoms don't give us the right to do whatever we want to do, but they do give us the privilege and opportunity to engage in acts of loving service to others, doing what we can to make our communities and community better places in which to live. I wish I had learned this lesson sooner than I did, but now, having learned it, I promise not to forget it, and I hope you won't either. And the last thing I'm going to show you is just a cool picture of something that is at our Beautiful Plains Museum. These old binoculars came to Manitoba with Joseph Graham in June of 1879 from Peterborough, Ontario. Graham came to Gladstone in 1880 to open the first land titles office. The year and manufacturer for the binoculars is not known at this time. The pair of binoculars can be found in the collection at the Beautiful Plains Museum. Well, half of it is in great condition, half of it is not. But that would be fun. So anyone that wants to go and see our Beautiful Plains Museum in Neepawa are welcome to see this and many other things that are in that building. Okay, well, that is it for today for the Neepawa Banner and Press reading. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. So bye for now.